I'm Jake Feynman, and I'm one of the founders of Kids for World Health. Greetings to members of the International Scientific Council for Trypanosomiasis Research and Control on behalf of the founders, board of directors, student members, and advisors of Kids for World Health. We are honored by the invitation to attend this conference, and also greatly regret that we cannot leave school, though we are happy to be represented here by Kay Kobe. Through our work, we've gained an understanding of the world beyond our homes in America and have been inspired by men and women of true integrity. It humbles us to learn the depth and sacrifice of the commitment made by members like you. We thank you for all that you've accomplished for the people in Africa and across the globe. We also want to give thanks to two people for the guidance that they have offered us as our friends and our mentors. Dr. Jean Janin and Dr. Pere Samaro have been invaluable in the development and success of our organization. We are endlessly grateful to you both. As you can see in the photo, we were only 8 years old when we began our studies of neglected diseases. Our mission was inspired by a television film on sleeping sickness depicting the work of Dr. Mickey Richer in Tambora County, Sudan. Although we were only 8, we were outraged by the injustice that existing medicines were not accessible to the people she was trying to save. Through many discussions and with the help of Dr. Jean Janin, we decided to form an organization called Kids for World Health. Our motto became life is important to all people, rich or poor. What began as a third-grade discussion became countless letters, petitions, trips to Washington, D.C., and ultimately motivated the creation of many other Kids for World Health chapters across the country, with several more in other places around the world. We've learned a lot about neglected diseases, drug companies, and government workings. We now have a wider view of different cultures in our world. It has been an honor to speak with you today. To continue our story is the teacher who has told us from the beginning that for our voices to be heard, we must first speak up. Ms. Kobe, thank you for helping us to be heard across the world. With great pleasure, I introduce to you Kay Kobe.
It is with great joy and privilege that I am present among you, representing Kids for World Health here in Uganda. It is an honor to have an opportunity to share the work of our young people, and as you have heard, they are indeed here in spirit. What a gift it has been to learn, to expand our understandings, and to broaden our worlds. Begun in a class of 18 third graders 9 years ago, Kids for World Health emerged among my students as a collective understanding that all people deserve the chance for life, with whatever struggles it may hold. It was founded as a compassionate reaction to the thousands of people who die each year from trypanosomiasis, knowing that a cure exists in the Western world, but for them was unattainable. With strong passions toward justice and a knowledge of the issues surrounding neglected diseases, these small children fueled a fire and took a stand. As their teacher, it was apparent to me that the energy had a life of its own, and with appropriate guidance, there were endless possibilities.
Imagine, you are 12 years old living in Africa, and your little brother is very sick. So sick he's too tired to eat or even talk. You are scared because you saw the same thing happen to a man in your village, and he died. You're afraid for your brother, and worried that you might get sick too. But what can you do?
I thought about it, and I was confused. I mean, this is 2004. What's going on? Imagine, you're an 8-year-old American child in the 3rd grade. While you're still in Africa, one of your classmates brings in a tape of a 60-minute segment that tells all about sleeping sickness. You and your classmates become outraged when you learn about this injustice. What do you do?
It was a long process. We wrote letters to pharmaceutical companies, carried petitions to the White House. We got in touch with anyone we could think of.
We met with doctors from the World Health Organization, Doctors Without Borders, and World Health Sleeping Sickness Elimination Program, all to become more knowledgeable about this disease.
We spoke with our Congresswoman, Nita Lowey from New York, and informed her that a budget for sleeping sickness research does not exist. With money for research, this disease has an excellent chance at being permanently controlled and eventually eliminated.
We went to Washington and met with Representative Jan Schakowsky and Senator Hillary Clinton.
This was an amazing experience for us, because a lot of kids think that their opinions don't really matter, that no one will listen. We are proof that you can be heard in our government.
Educationally, it required that the students have meaningful discussions on the questions their research and learnings presented, that goals and aims be highlighted, and that ownership for the work they would do be rooted in student-based decision-making. Through their discussions, 3 major aims of the organization were identified. 1. Education and awareness of neglected diseases. 2. Fundraising to provide services that would contribute to the elimination of trypanosomiasis. In 2007, the mission would expand to include 3 other targeted diseases: Chagas disease, leishmaniasis, and Brule ulcer. 3. Expansion of KFWH membership to students throughout the United States and the world. The organizational structure of Kids for World Health evolved to define itself in this way. Educationally, Kids for World Health has worked on educating students and communities about neglected diseases through community expos featuring distinguished panels of doctors from WHO, MSF, and the global health world. Poignant lessons have been learned from speakers such as John Boldow, known as one of the leaders of the Lost Boys of Sudan. Private and formal presentations have been made to political figures such as former First Lady Laura Bush, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Foreign Relations Chair and Health Appropriations Committee member Congresswoman Nita Lowey, and to state senators on issues surrounding neglected diseases and on the non-endemic Chagas initiative. Further presentations to institutes and scientists, including Dr. Cyrus Bocci, discoverer of the effects of fluornithine on the trypanosome, Dr. Peter Hotez, professor and journalist at George Washington University, Alice Albright, director of the Gavi Institute, were delivered, to name a few. Press conferences in Washington, D.C., television appearances, connections with CDC, exhibits in New York City and in Washington with MSF, as well as presentations to many groups, including churches, temples, boards of education, have been made by founders and chapter members of students. Kids for World Health has also published educational materials for villagers, provided funds for diagnostic training seminars for doctors and assistants. Our fundraising efforts have also been used to provide funding for the construction of 4 completed KFWH pediatric wings. The first in Ye, Sudan, dedicated to the work of Dr. Mickey Richer, servicing 90 villages. The second in Duk County, Sudan, at the John Boldow Clinic, servicing 150,000 villagers. The third in Kalua, Tanzania, servicing 250,000 villagers. And the fourth, opening in Luwala, Uganda, serving 100,000 villagers. Our program for this school year will include the building of a pediatric wing for the treatment of trypanosomiasis in Bodo, Chad. We are happy to announce today that this wing will be dedicated to this distinguished work of our advisor and friend, Dr. Pare Samaro. In 2010, we are also hopeful to create a program for the treatment of Chagas disease in Brazil, with possibilities for students to participate as service volunteers and interns. In addition, funds have been placed for research for the development of improved drugs for sleeping sickness, construction of a fully equipped kitchen in Ye, Sudan, and the provisions for an equipped lab at a hospital in Ye. What has Kids for World Health meant to our members? Let's listen to some of their comments.
Kids for World Health has opened my eyes from a young age toward those who are less fortunate than I am. It's really made me put everyday issues into a more global perspective.
What makes us different is that we are an organization that was begun by students who believe that age does not matter when it comes to making a difference.
Kids for World Health is about making a difference, no matter how small you are.
It's hard to express the fulfillment knowing that you've saved a life, and it's just as hard to express the feeling knowing that there are many more lives that need saving.
Before Kids for World Health, I never thought deeply about the conditions and hardships people around the world go through every day. But ever since Kids for World Health began, I think more about the struggles others encounter every day and night. My outlook on life has changed due to Kids for World Health, and I will never be able to forget the experiences I have gained. The fact that Kids for World Health is able to alter people's lives around the world has altered my own.
And what do we imagine for the future? Communication sites for direct dialogue, publishing books that reflect equality of service. Wouldn't it be interesting to develop a global curriculum for teachers and students on related global health and cultural themes? Just imagine.
This isn't just about raising money. We want other kids to be able to recognize injustice in the world. That's what we hope Kids for World Health will do.
These 8-year-old children voiced that life was important for all people, rich or poor. This message emerged with words that could not be identified by age, by position, or by political or corporate complexities. It emerged to remind us that in spite of all of our differences in perception, style, culture, religious orientation, economic privilege or not, that what we share in common is our humanity. The members of Kids for World Health find it intolerable that people are dying or that people are ostracized by disease for which the Western world holds a cure. They have from their actions proven and shown others that age does not matter when people remain connected to the human spirit or when they find priority in the value for human life. I thank you for the privilege of meeting you and wish before I close to acknowledge on behalf of the founders of Kids for World Health a dedication of the KFWH Pediatric Wing in Luwala, Uganda, to the work of our founding mentor, Dr. Jean Janin, for whom we are most grateful. We thank you, Jean, and ask you to accept this plaque from all of us.
Sky blue, your children wait for the dawn. African sky blue, soon a new day will be born. African sky blue, African sky blue, will you bless my life? African sunshine, soon you will warm your children's eyes. The African river water will dance and leap in your morning light. African sunshine, African river water, will you bless my life? Oh, will you bless my life? Oh, will you bless my life? Oh, will you bless my life?